Honestly, at this point, I'm throwing spaghetti, guys. I want to see what sticks. I'm having a good time doing this little series for the springtime where I'm taking some of mine and your favorite brands, and I'm ranking my best fragrances for the spring specifically from each of those brands. So I'm not featuring every fragrance I own from each brand. We've done one of these for Xerjoff. By this point, you've seen the one we've done for Tom Ford, and today we're talking about Guerlain. So depending on how those other two videos do will determine if we continue doing this. So it's going to be up to you guys. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribed, and leave me your thoughts in the comments on the fragrances I'm talking about, your favorite fragrances from these brands, and whether or not you want to keep seeing videos like this. So yes, we're talking about Guerlain. I'm going to share with you 7 of my favorite fragrances from my Guerlain collection that perfectly work for the spring. I've ranked them from 7 to 1. I love all of them, so none of them is really worse or best or anything like that. It's all about my own personal wearability, functionality, when I actually will reach for these fragrances in a realistic way. So while I have some sense that I genuinely enjoy more than others, they might be ranked lower just because they function not quite as well for the spring specifically. Hope that all makes sense. Links to everything will be in the description. Let's dive right into it. This first fragrance up, number 7, is a perfect example of what I just said in terms of a scent personality that I really enjoy, that I like and find more interesting than some of these, but functionally speaking, I don't wear it that much. It's not going to get a whole lot of mileage out of me, but it's a perfect evening fragrance for the spring, especially when you want to be dressed up. This is dressy vibes. This is elegant. This is statement making stuff. You've been warned. Not everyone's going to love this. This is Encens Mythique. I've loved this stuff ever since I first got a decant years back. Man, I'm so thrilled to have this bottle. This is a beautiful aldehydes, rose, incense, and ambergris based scent. That's primarily what I get. I get this fresh, clean, almost laundry-like open quality from those aldehydes, a little bit of sweet jammy rose inside of that with this ambery incense kind of smoking and cooling with this very, very musky ambergris. I'm talking musk. It might even borderline on animalic, a slight funk. So be careful not to spray too much because it is very, very strong. And in the dry down, that ambergris can be a little bit overwhelming. It can be a little much, especially when smelled up close. So I would not recommend this for a close encounter. No, the dry down is going to be hit or miss for some people. It smells beautiful in the air, but again, up close, might be a little much, so I would save this for times when you're not necessarily going to get super close to someone else by the end of the evening. Again, I'm saving this for very, very special occasions, more upscale events. Anyway, that's Encens Mythique at number 7. I think it's a great, once again, evening spring fragrance. We got a total classic here. I know this is one a lot of people absolutely love. I'm sure they've reformulated it because the bottle's different, which means the scent has probably changed as well, especially from Guerlain. They haven't been known to do this, but this is L'Instant de Guerlain. This is the Eau de Toilette version, and this is one of the most special, specific scent profiles out there that is still very wearable and understandable. Chocolatey patchouli. It's kind of fresh, maybe a little citrusy. I get this cacao vibe, so it is kind of a dry chocolatiness, not creamy milk chocolate or anything like that, but that's on top of this earthy patchouli, this dampness that brings this depth to it that makes it even more masculine. And this Eau de Toilette version is pretty light. So those of you who are looking for strong performance, strong presence, I can't speak for the current square bottles, but I imagine they're comparable to this. Don't expect a lot of presence out of this. This is easy wear, light wear, maybe 4 to 6 hours worth of wear, and not something that's going to push out a whole lot. Now the EDP I can't speak for. I've never tried it, so maybe that's going to be more. If you need more presence, maybe the EDP could provide, but those who've tried it, please chime in down in the comments. But I think this is a great lightly upscale wear, but not the most serious scent profile. It's fairly versatile for being fairly unique. That is L'Instant de Guerlain. This one is for the sophisticated guys. This is for the ones who are not afraid to smell a little bit more mature, maybe even a touch old-fashioned, but I think this is timeless stuff. This is Heritage, which I do believe came out originally in the 90s. If you know fragrances like Danger from Vetiver Parfum, which I love, it's very possible that Vetiver modeled Danger after this. And I see why, because this is a lovely scent, but Danger is kind of its own thing. It's Vetiver-fied, so to speak. This is still very much Guerlain. It is this kind of warm, ambery fougere. There's a sweet, ambery vanilla, some spices in there, but still kind of a clean lavender freshness that almost leans a little soapy in a way. It is a fougere. It's an aromatic fougere after all, but it's a warmer one. It's a deeper one. It's one that has maybe a little bit more seriousness to it. Maybe one that functions well for the evening. A fougere for when the sun goes down. Typically, I wear my fougeres in the daytime. This one does well for the night. This is the eau de toilette specifically, but there is an eau de parfum as well. I haven't tried it. I imagine it's more present than this, but this one actually does just fine as far as performance goes. Anyway, that is number 5, Heritage Eau de Toilette. At number 4, the oldest scent profile on this list. This originally came out, I believe, in the 60s. The original Vetiver. This is the eau de toilette. I'm sure it's changed over these many decades of time, but it's still a timeless classic vetiver that was a hallmark in its genre next to Carvin's vetiver back during that time. But man, this really is a seminal branch on the tree of vetiver fragrances in the fragrance industry. It is very citrusy, bright, but there's a smoky, fresh green woodiness behind this brightness that's kind of mouth-watering. It just oozes class. It oozes an effortlessness. It's incredibly versatile, and it's a clean vetiver. If you're not sure if you like vetiver, this is one you have to try. It could be a great gateway vetiver and one that has a lot of heritage behind it. Now, it is very, very light. Again, eau de toilette here. There's been many other versions, including a parfum, which we might see here pretty soon. But Vetiver EDT definitely worth checking out, and just perfect for the spring. It just screams springtime. I think you know what I mean if you've tried it. This is one that I think a lot of people would enjoy in the summer, as would I. In the summertime, I might move this up a little bit, but for the spring, just with the vibe that it has, it's still perfect, but you know, others just do it a little better. Just Guerlain Homme, the eau de parfum, mint mojito. So the vibe of it is kind of summery. It's kind of like on the beach vibes, but there is still this clean, timeless masculinity to it. It doesn't just smell like fun in the sun. There is this refined nature. It's a little bit sweet, it's fresh, it's minty, it's a little herbal, it's woody, just easy stuff. Easy to wear, easy breezy, no brainer, but not generic. It's a great combo, perfect for spring, especially if you want to have a professional vibe. That is Homme EDP. As I mentioned, Vetiver Parfum may or may not be in this list, and it is in this list, and we're going to talk about it right now. Vetiver Parfum. I love this stuff. I do like it more than the original, especially for the spring. And what it does is it tones down the freshness, oomphs up the heart and base. It's just wider, broader, stronger, more woody. It's definitely darker and smokier. There's even a little bit of a licorice vibe in here, something kind of anisey, a little bit sweet. It's hard to really pinpoint what it is, maybe tonka bean or something about it that just gives it much more below the surface, but it's still a vetiver fragrance through and through. Definitely more vetiver forward than the EDT. If you're not sure if you love vetiver, I wouldn't start with this one. This is a vetiver presence similar to something like Nichane Sultan vetiver, which is kind of a hit or miss for some people because of its very green grassiness. This kind of has that, maybe a little bit toned down compared to the Nichane. That is Vetiver Parfum. And number 1, this is my scent of the day. I love this for the springtime, for the transition seasons in general, but for spring, this is a favorite of mine because it does this beautiful encompassing of 2 great elements that work for any occasion during the spring. It is kind of fresh and aromatic in a way, but not like shower gel, not aquatic, just an openness. It's not too dense, blended with a warm sweetness, almond, leather, this cherry-like vibe, maybe some woods like vetiver, but again, still a little bit fresh, and that makes it very versatile for any situation. This is the original L'Homme Ideal Eau de Toilette. I love this for the spring. Again, you can wear it for any occasion, day or night. It does have a little bit more of an alluring, maybe romantic vibe to it, something that you can wear on a date or just when you want to smell really attractive to people. But you can also wear it to work if you don't go crazy with the sprays. It does have a professionalism to it, something that you can still take seriously, but it is so perfect for, again, any situation. And for the springtime, this is my number 1 from Guerlain. That is L'Homme Ideal EDT. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. Once again, links to everything down in the description. And thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.